What's going on, guys? This is Clark Knives here, back with another YouTube video. And today I got another knife to show. I'm quite excited about this one. Let me see if I can carefully move my tripod. My tripod's currently broken, so I've just got a little cloth shoved in between where the head moves so that it doesn't fall down on me. But anyways, we got a new knife today, and I'm gonna show y'all said new knife. A couple people know about it already, and I was gonna do an unboxing video on it, but whenever I got home today, I was quite busy, so it kind of was getting to me, so I went ahead and took a look at it and flushed it a little bit and everything like that, so that I can not necessarily get it prepared for the video, but just scratch that itch before I made a video on it. But anyways, here is the tube. I've already popped the lid. This is a Great Eastern cutlery knife. Again, y'all know I like those Great Eastern cutleries. Handcrafted, classic pocket knives. Hammer tested, frozen forged, 1095. The address, and then when they started in 06. So this is going to be the model number 77. It's 1 for clip blade as the main, 2 for the amount of blades, and then 25 for the year it was made. So this was made in 2025. And I'm pretty sure this marks my second 2025 knife that I currently have in my collection. I had an 88 from the 25 run, but I ended up selling it to get something else. But yeah, here's the tube. Just your pretty typical tube art. I think this is like base of the line, just titty trim, nothing really crazy. So there's the cap. The knife is not in here, but I'm going to show y'all the pin. It does come with a pin. That's always pretty sweet. It is the Yankee 77 jackknife. Some of them you'll get some of the pins you'll get for the 77 will say like Yankee Barlow or something like that. But this is a jackknife, which has 2 blades and 2 bolsters on each end. And I was going to get a size comparison, but I guess I'm just gonna have to use my knife that's in my pocket. Okay, so starting off, this is a 77. I'm gonna wipe the back spring off. It's got a little oil on it. This is a 77 pattern, which is going to be what I would say kind of GEC's larger jack pattern. I wouldn't say it's the largest they have. They have an 86, which is going to be, from my knowledge, the largest jack pattern they have, unless they do like a 54 or a 98, which I think this would be considered a jack, which this is quite a bit bigger. But anyways, we're not gonna get into that. They've got a 14, a 15, and a 77, and this is the largest out of all 3 of them. 14 being the smallest, 15 being like middle brother size, and then this is the largest out of those patterns. They're all the same. I guess you'd call this sleeve board, or I don't think this is serpentine. But yeah, this is the knife. Gabon, I don't know how you say it. It is Gabon ebony. So what it is pretty much is just really it's a super dense wood, and most of them you see are usually black. So this is probably close to one of the toughest woods in the world, besides like Brazilian jig cherry wood. I know that's one of the toughest in the world, which Great Eastern Cutlery also makes handles out of. So I don't usually go into fit and finish on these knives, because Great Eastern Cutlery is really known for the great fit and finish that they put out. But I'm going to, and I'll go over this one as well, even though I've already made a video on this, just to kind of compare the 2025 runs of knives, just to kind of show y'all what we're getting into and their latest runs and stuff like that. So this, you might not be able to focus it, but the back springs sit just a teensy bit low, which again, that's why I don't like getting into it, because then people are going to think I'm complaining. I'm not complaining at all. None of these things with these knives bother me, but it bothers some of y'all, so I'm just wanting to get it out there so that y'all can decide whether or not to get some of these new runs of knives. Anyways, like I said, the back springs do ride just a teensy bit low. I can barely nick my finger on it, or my fingernail. And as far as covers, pins, and everything like that goes, you can't find nothing wrong. Still no gaps whatsoever in between the back springs and the liners and everything like that. Again, on the other side, pins are looking great. Same with the covers. You can scrape your fingernail, but that'll end up wearing down and you won't even be able to tell. This side, not as much. Barely. And then everything on this knife looks great. The back springs are still fairly flat at the end where they cap. They just kind of round off a teensy bit. But the one main complaint about these knives whenever they first came out was the action. The walk and talk, or the snap, or whatever you want to call it. And this one, I've flushed this thing one time. This was a already not used, but pre-owned knife. This I got it off Facebook. And the fellow that owned it before me definitely did get it out every once in a while and opened it and closed it, you know, all that, but he never used it. So the snap and all that was already kind of broken in just a little bit, but I went ahead and flushed out the pivots and everything like that and ran some oil through there for a good while, and I've got most of it to where whenever you open it and close it, none of the oil comes out of the bolster or the back springs there. I'm definitely gonna flush it a couple more times just because I've been told that it gets even better, and after some use it gets even better. But we're gonna go ahead and get into these blades and the snap. So your main blade, which in my opinion is not the main blade. If it's in the far side, it's the secondary. But these are going off the classic, how you would have seen a knife like 30, 40, maybe even 50 years ago. And this is how they usually were set up. So they're going off that. So your main blade is a clip point. These are carbon steel blades, so they will get a patina, and I will show y'all what that looks like here in a little while. But you have a really, really sweet hand cut swedge or drawn swedge or whatever you want to call it. Very nice swedge, and it actually replicates the 54 quite a bit, except you get a lot bigger blade here. So y'all can see the resemblance. I would almost say that the swedge actually is cut more on this knife than it is the 54. But here's a good depiction on the walk and talk for the main blade. Not horrible with the main blade. It sounds super snappy over the camera, but the open and close is just a little weak. It's just a little weak. It's really nothing that a person couldn't get over. And then here is the pin blade. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And like I said, I've heard that it gets 10 times better over time. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to probably just fiddle with this knife tonight while I'm watching TV. Sit here and flush it over and over again with a little bit of this Lucas gun oil. I've learned that this Lucas gun oil is just about the best you can have for a pivot to clean the blades off, if you want to clean the blades off with oil instead of like Mother's or Neverdole or anything like that. But that's super cheap. I can use it for my guns, I can use it for my knives, I can use it for just about anything metal. And you can get that at your local O'Reilly's. And it's not, it doesn't, a little bit goes a long ways with that stuff. So if you put just a dab in there, it'll go a long ways. That way you're not over putting oil and getting a bunch of stuff stuck in your pivot. But like I said, here is your main blade clip point. This thing is going to be, let's see here. Let's see, cutting edge is going to be 2.5, and then your entire blade length, we're going to go ahead and say that's 3. I'll just show y'all that tip at the, we'll just call this, oh, y'all can't even see. I'm looking at the knife here, not even showing y'all. So tips at this line right here, that's 1, 2, and about a half. And then you've pretty much got 3 inches for the entire blade length. Now as for the knife, you've got a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about a little over 3.5 inches. So not too bad. Very nice little size. It's not little, I just call it little, but this knife is very decently sized. It's probably about the perfect size for most people. You've got a full grip on the knife, and even if you want to choke up on it, it doesn't stick way out of your hand. And then as for the pen blade, you have about 2 inches cutting length. Here you go. Just close to it. And then you've got about a 2.25 inch blade overall. So that's pretty much the gist of this knife. I'm really excited to have this thing. I have been kind of searching for one of these knives for a little while now. I did want one. I knew I wanted one, but anytime I'd see one up for sale on the groups on Facebook, I would always be too late. And I never really just was like, oh, well, you know. I didn't really care. I did want one, but I just kind of brushed it off because I knew I would get one eventually. Well, the other day I decided, you know what, I'm going to make a post looking for one. So I made a post looking for one, and then probably, I'd say 2 hours later, I ended up getting it. So that's the story on that thing. Size comparison, here is a Great Eastern Cutlery 54. You see you've got pretty much, we'll go about a good 1/2 inch longer. This 54 is pretty massive. And back to the whole carbon steel blade thing. For those of you that might not know what carbon steel is, I don't know the technicality of it, but I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, carbon steel has more carbon in it than, I can't think of the other word. Anyways, it is not a stainless steel. Y'all go ahead and go hound me in the comments for that. Call me stupid, whatever you want. But anything, carbon steel is not stainless. As you can see, this thing has cut some food. It stays in my pocket. I've been sweating a lot, so you get this little whatever. You can wipe that off. It's kind of like a little bit of a start of a rust. These will rust if you're not careful. And that's why we get patina on them, and cut apples and anything acidic-y will oxidize the blade pretty much and bring out a layer of, I cannot think of words today, good Lord. The blade will oxidize and give you a little coating of like rust preventer, whatever you want to call it. So it won't rust as easily. It still will rust, but not as easily as it would if it was just bare. But here is the 54 open. And then here is the 77 open. These are butt to butt. You can see that open length, there's really not much of a difference, probably about 1/2 inch to 1 inch longer on the main blade there. And then with the pin blade, which I really wish I would have brought my 44 in here. It would have been a little bit better for, listen to this. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I got a lot of crap in my pivots from today. So this is a pin blade. It's just a very large pin blade. And there's the 44 or the 54 open pin blade. And then here is the 77 open. So you've got quite a bit more room on this one. But that's okay. And if any of y'all don't know how big a 54 is, this thing is usually just about an 1/8, if not a 1/4 inch smaller than a full-size case trapper, I do believe. But yeah, that's this knife. It's been riding in my pocket for quite a while, pretty much ever since I got it. This is probably going to be moved to a belt sheath since it's large, and this is going to be probably moved into a slip into my pocket until I get super comfortable with it and decide to start bare bones carrying it. But this is the slip it's going to go in. But if y'all enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a comment, go ahead and like, subscribe, and tell your friends about me. I know that I have in later videos talked about a G away. I'm sure y'all can make out what that is. I just don't want to say it on YouTube because then something goes crazy. But anyways, I'm going to be doing a G away at 1,000 subscribers. And I will be giving away a Great Eastern cutlery knife. I don't know exactly what I'm going to get yet. I don't know anything like that. It's probably not going to be something just super extraordinary, but it's going to be a GEC. I know that. So let's get there and then do a GOA. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.